Budget keyboards. There are so many different options for budget keyboards nowadays. And one of those budget keyboards is called the GMK67. GMK67 is one of the first few boards to offer specs we haven't seen before on a budget board. It was the first of its kind, so some might even say that that was the best budget keyboard of 2023. What I have with me today is the latest version of the GMK67. Let me introduce to you the GMK67s and GMK81s. I got both of these off Taobao. They cost $33 each. So with even more functions than the previous versions, let's get into it. Starting with what is included in the kits. Firstly, instruction manuals, followed by keycap and switch pullers, braided USB-C cables that match the color of your kit. And for the main item, our keyboard kits, I went with white for the 67 and black for the 81. They are both made of plastic, which is not exactly ideal, but when it comes to the budget price, we can't really complain because the other features actually do make up for it. Which brings me to triple mode connection, wired, wireless receiver and Bluetooth. For the 67%, the wireless receiver is actually really well hidden under this magnetic slider and it is actually really satisfying to open. Both boards have support for Mac and Windows OS and has a customizable screen. Yes, a customizable screen on a keyboard that costs $33 US. Can you believe it? Because I can't. The GMK81 basically offers everything mentioned in the GMK67s, just that this has a different layout. For those of you who prefer having a function row and a bigger screen, it is a compact 75%, which I actually really like the layout of, not the usual exploded 75% layout. To top it all off, both boards have per key RGB, which is customizable as well. So the features are actually pretty insane for this price range, but how does it sound? So let's start building. Or I thought I could start building by taking it apart. But I basically spent an hour trying to rip the top case off cause it should be held in by plastic clips. I tried all the different methods, brute force using like cards, using like a special tool to remove the plastic clip from the top cover and everything, but my fingers started to turn red and it hurt a lot. I just gave up. It wasn't even budging. I couldn't even get a single one off. So let's just build it as it is. So let's start with the GMK67s. Both boards should have the same parts internally because it's the exact same thing just with a different layout. To start things off, we have a polycarbonate plate to match the gasket mounted board. The gasket mount basically tells you how your PCB is being placed in your case. So with a gasket mount, this provides you with a softer typing experience, or some would say flexible. For foam, we have a piece of PE foam and plate foam above that, which I believe is what most beginners would actually like. The PE foam gives your board a really creamy sound, and accompanied with the plate foam, you won't have to worry about any hollow sound from the plastic case. We have plate mounted stabilizers that actually come pre-looped. I will be touching it up a little bit and I'll leave the GMK81 stabilizers alone so that you can hear the difference. For switches, any switches of your choice will work fine since we have 5-pin sockets. For myself, I'll be using the matcha latte switches. These give off a really unique sound that I really like. It's a really balanced switch in terms of torque and clack, but with the amount of foam we have in the board, I believe it should lean towards the torquier side or the deeper side of the sound spectrum. Once you're done installing your switches, you can install your keycaps. Installing your keycaps is probably one of the more therapeutic parts of building a keyboard, so take your time to do it. And it's a really simple build. Here's how it sounds. Honestly, the sound of the board is really nice. If I did the sound test without a video on it and showed you this clip of audio, I don't think you would be able to tell it's a $33 budget custom keyboard kit. The amount of flex on the board is actually really good, really comfortable, and it's just a really nice typing experience. Let's move on to the 75%. For this, I'll try to lean towards the deeper side of the sound spectrum, otherwise known as torque. Since we have both PE and plate foam pre-installed, let's just make use of it. For switches, I'll be using the Wuche Morandi switches. Never really tried them, but based off what I hear, it sounds pretty good and they were provided by Thought King, looped with Crytox 205 grade 0. As I mentioned before, the stabilizers in the GMK81 will be left stock so that you can hear the difference between a looped and unlooped stabilizer and decide on your own whether you want to touch it up or not. Something I didn't realize, the Morandi switches actually have really nice RGB diffusers, which I've never really seen. It gives the RGB a really smooth and balanced emission, which is kind of banger actually, the RGB. I kind of like it. For keycaps, I would definitely recommend trying to find double shot PBT keycaps. These keycaps have a really thick material that help your keyboard go towards the deeper side of the sound spectrum, otherwise known as thought. Overall, building in this keyboard is actually really simple, really easy. I actually found myself a little bit more relaxed compared to I usually am building in these keyboards. So if you're looking for your first custom keyboard, I would definitely recommend it. And for my veteran keyboard viewers out there, let's not hate on the keyboard based off our own personal preferences and experiences that we have with more expensive keyboards, alright? We all start somewhere, and I think this is one of the better starting points to start with. Anyway, here's how the keyboard sounds. And last but not least, the screen is fully customizable with any GIF you want. So this gives the keyboard another layer of customization, which I don't think normal keyboards normally have. So yeah, as I mentioned, I honestly really enjoyed building in these keyboards. I found it really therapeutic. There was no special steps, no special building that I had to do, or like a ton of screws to deal with. This is like the peak perfect keyboard for the first ever board you want to build. All you have to do is install your switches and keycaps. So if you are a little bit nervous, you don't want to do it, you're scared you might screw it up, I say you just go for it. At this price point, it's probably the best budget keyboard accessible to everyone right now. I know some budget boards might offer a little bit more of an aluminum case and whatnot, but those are not exactly accessible to everyone as easily as the GMK67 series. So if you're interested, just go search up GMK67s or GMK81s on Google, see which store near you or AliExpress, and see which website you are able to buy it from. Aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This has been the best so far in 2024 best budget custom keyboard. If you enjoyed this video and you think this helped you, go ahead and leave a like button, subscribe if you enjoy keyboard content, and comment down below what other keyboards you want to see and your thoughts on the GMK67s and 81s. Aside from that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.